See, there's a truism that you should always remember that war is a lot slower than a narrative. Of course, it takes a while for a tank to go 40 kilometers. And of course, if there's shooting going on and rockets and artillery and all the rest of it, it's going to take even longer for that tank to go 40 miles. Huh? Yeah, and to think that it can just happen like the way you drive a car 40 miles is absurd. How long does it take you to drive 40 miles? An hour? Maybe 40 minutes? For a tank, if a tank makes 40 miles, it'll be lucky if the tank does it in a couple of days. Certainly in heavy combat, it'll take even longer, maybe a couple of weeks. But you can be winning a war, and it just takes a long time. It's a slow-going process. Now, why am I bringing this all up? Well, because there are all kinds of commentators in the West who keep saying that, the Russians are not winning. They're losing. They're losing horribly, and they're only making, little gains every day. Yeah, but these little gains add up every day, man. I mean, come on. Yeah? But you see, the West seems to think that if the Russians don't have like a sweeping, dramatic victory, then they're not winning. Ergo, they're losing. See, this is something I keep coming back to. It's something that drives me a little bit nuts about Western commentators. They keep insisting that if you're not winning in a dramatic way, then you're not winning. And if you're not winning, therefore you're losing, which doesn't make any sense at all. See? You can be achieving marginal gains every day, just a little bit, a couple of kilometers every day. But after 10 days, that's going to be 20 kilometers. After a month, that'll be 60 to 100 kilometers. And after 2 months, well, it's the whole damn country, man. Come on. See? And you look at a map of what's going on in East Ukraine, because that's where the big battle is going on, in East Ukraine. And the Russians are just, one day they'll take a little bit here, and then the next day, just a little bit over there. And then the day after that, just a few, a kilometer or two over there. Pretty soon that they've got the whole damn thing. A couple of days ago, the Russians scored a big victory at Popasnaya. And you look at the map and you look at the progression, and it seems so slow, like molasses. Like slowly the Russians coming up to this village and slowly taking it. And they've decisively taken it, by the way. There's video evidence showing Russian troops in the center of Popasnaya. Without question, it's that town. And they're walking around, calm as can be. And obviously there are no snipers. Obviously the whole thing has been cleared out. They own the town. And why did this particular town matter? Well, because it's the highest point in that particular area. And with artillery positioned at Popasnaya, they're able to hit anything in a 30-mile radius, 30-kilometer radius, rather, including all the concentrations of Ukrainian troops. This Popasnaya victory, which in the West nobody's really talking about, it's going to be decisive in the battle for the Donbass, because from that position, they have the higher ground, and so they can reach everywhere. That's why it matters. But the West doesn't seem to understand this. The Western commentators, more specifically. And I suspect a lot of the military people as well, because a lot of the military commentators on Western media, they don't seem to understand this, and they keep obsessing over the fact that the Russians don't score any breakout victory. See, the hare and the turtle, that allegory is famous because it embodies a central truth. See, you can be fast as the wind, but consistently always wins. If you are consistent, no matter how slow you are, if you are consistent, you will win. Always. And that's something that, in my own case, has been a difficult lesson to learn, quite frankly. Because when I was younger, I was so smart and so fast that I could get away with being the hare. I could be lazy. I could be lazy and chase girls and sleep all day. And at the end of the day, when I had the test, it was 30 minutes before the test. I could just cram in 30 minutes and get a B plus to an A plus. And it worked like a charm for a number of years until finally I bumped up to a level where I couldn't pull that off. And I discovered that I needed to be consistent. And well, I learned to be consistent. It was a very tough and slow going, ironically enough, or not so ironically enough. But eventually I learned that to really succeed, you have to be slow and consistent. And that's what the Russians are doing. And they're winning. And all the narratives in the world that are lightning fast, they're not telling you the truth. So ignore those narratives and don't confuse, not winning at hyper speed with losing. If you're not winning at hyper speed, if you're winning just a little bit every day, that's good enough, because at the end of the day, all that matters is that you're winning. It doesn't matter how fast you get to that win.